Ladies and gentlemen, in your capacities, you're most welcome here. Since we are seated, we can have the day start. Uganda is a religious country, and we believe, even in our motto, God supports us, helps us to make decisions, the good ones. Those who make bad decisions, we shall know where the cause comes from. We believe we should always have a prayer leading everything that we do, the good ones. The bad ones don't pray again. Any volunteer who is going to give us a focused short prayer?
Let's stand for our Lord's Prayer. Let's humble ourselves. Lord Almighty God, we want to thank you for the gift of life. We want to thank you for the journey masses that people have had up to here. We are having a closure of this project, but Lord, may it continue to serve those that are less fortunate, and may we continue serving those that are in need, and give us good health to continue with the humanity activities. Thank you. In the Lord's name we pray.
It is focused. Good health. Even WHO Health Organization failed to define what health is. But we need good health. Every time you feel you don't need help from anyone, it means you're healthy. If your neighbor tells you that you need support, no, you are not healthy. Even if you're feeling you're healthy. I was given some talents, I was denied some. The greatest talent that I would have wanted is to sing, but I cannot sing even the national anthem. But the next thing is we are going to sing the national anthem. Anyone who has some vocals to lead us, I'll be glad. Volunteer. The national anthem first. The first stanza.
O Uganda, may God hold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free for liberty, together we'll always stand. E Mungu twawomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Barara University, succeed we must. With God's will, we shall make the best of must. Let us unite and cooperate to build the nation in different sectors. Our pride and ego must will shine forever, and we'll be victors. My alma mater, long live Barara University, Utlimum Viva.
Thank you, Madam Angela. Sometimes when something is so good, you don't need to advertise. They told me there are companies which have never advertised, but they make sales day and day. This was fantastic. I wish I could run, but I gave up on the talent. But I will always remember to call on you on such occasions. So we start. We want to welcome our head of department, Dr. John Onyango. We want to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Stanley. We want to welcome the district governor, the Lyon. We want to welcome every Lyon that is here. Lyon, Lyon, Lyon. My teacher in primary deceived to me that when something is a female, it is no longer lion, it is a lioness. But when it comes to lion, to lions, they are lions. So nobody is a lioness here, it's a lion. When I tried to find out what does it mean to be a lion, why are there no lionesses, they told me actually it is not the animal, it is something beyond. I asked what is beyond. They told me that one thing that makes a lion is that it is patient, but it has the best vision to survive in the jungle. So the lion seems, the reason for them to come here to the eyes, they have a reason. Because they know without the eyes, the world is meaningless. If you close your eyes for a minute, and imagine living like that for the next years that you will always have, you know what it means for the eyes. It is not good at all, but someone who has ever seen to stop seeing is the worst thing to carry on your head. If you have ever seen and seen how beautiful the world is, and then eventually you wake up, you cannot see, that is so bad. You would rather have been born and you don't know how beautiful the world looks like. Today we are looking at a project which is closing. It is a project, but services for the eyes at Murek have not closed. For as long as there are doctors, there are patients, and there are people willing to take up the services, and those willing to give the services, Diabetic Retinopathy Project will go ahead. So much as we are here gathering to celebrate the closure of the project, actually the project has just begun. The project is you, it is me, to help someone not to live in eternal darkness when they could have seen. Long before Jesus was born, it was called BC. The first case of diabetes was seen in BC before Jesus was born. So among the people Jesus healed, for the believers, maybe there were people who could have had diabetes. There is a man in the Bible who is famous who was blind, and Jesus touched the eyes, the person could see. If the name is correct, he was called Bartholomew. Maybe he had a cataract that could have come from diabetes. Our next speaker, we are going to have welcome remarks from the project chair. This is Lyon. They told me Lyon stands for leadership. I agree, they are great leaders. Integrity, if you want to learn about integrity, look at the Lions. The ones, all of them that I have met, they are defined by integrity, people who are standing out in the community. If they want to do something, it is done. When they just mention, the thing is done. So leadership, integrity, for our nation's safety. Safety comes by just being, the first thing in safety is to identify the problem. So Lyon Bernard Kakwishchili, kindly come and give us the opening remarks.
Thanks, Dr. Prayers, our chief guest, the National Eye Health Coordinator, our district governor, the members of the project management committee present, the DHOs, fellow Lions, our other stakeholders and collaborators, you are most welcome. As the MC has said, we are here to close the project, but we are not closing, but we are starting real work. The aim of this project was that no one should go blind because of diabetes. And how did we do it? We had to do the screening, create awareness about diabetes. We did the screening, and we are doing the treatment. We covered, it was a 3-year project. We covered 17 districts from Lyantonde to Kisoro. There were 19 originally, yeah. Yeah, Masaka and Fort Portal were added later. What else did we do in this project? We realized that we needed personnel, we needed equipment. And thanks to the funding from the gallant ladies and gentlemen called the Lions, because of what they do to contribute to the saving of humanity in the world, we are able to get the grant. This grant helped us to train some personnel. Uganda has added on another retina surgeon. They had one. We have another one who is based here in Mast, in Mbarara. We trained 5 ophthalmologists, ophthalmology clinical officers. 17 OCOs also went under refresher course, and 17 ophthalmologist assistants were trained here. In terms of infrastructure, you have already seen those who visited the structure here. We have a retina theater, service cameras, the service house to reach van, the one you see here, the UBD 147E is from that project. And the diagnostic kits that we are given to the 19 districts. The other big achievement of this project has been the service delivery. We used to have very few patients, but at least those of who were here by 8, you already saw that people were outside before even the hospital was opened. That shows that at least awareness has been created, and we have had impact in that area. We have had several screening camps in all the 19 districts, and treatment at Mast is at the peak. I want to thank all of you, the DHOs, the people we trained. You have been our star, and I think as Lions, we need to clap for you because our money has not been wasted. I want to make an appeal. We have given you some basic equipment. You are in the driving seat, especially. We had even invited some cows and the DHOs. The biggest challenge we found was funding, even for the basic things. I will just give you a small story and I end there. We gave these torches for the ophthalmic clinical officers. I went to one of the units. I found after 3 years, the torch was as clean as we gave it to the person. When I asked what was happening, they said they have never had a budget for dry cells. That was the excuse, that when they talked to the cow, there was no budget for dry cells. And the dry cell for that torch is only 1,000. There is a very big problem, and this is, we are supposed to serve our people, but at times we are either lazy or there is something wrong. And I'm appealing to you, at least include some basics in your what? At least cut on, if you can't have it with the budget, cut on your allowances and buy dry cells for such a unit so that people don't go blind. I want to end my speech here to wish you the best. This is the starting of the project. We are only closing, but we are starting the real implementation. Use the equipment given to you so that when we are visiting, we are happy. The Lyon started a number of hospitals in this region. Orharo Eye Hospital was basically funded by the Lions. Rugarama, I was happy when we went to Rugarama at least our placards are still there. Let whatever you have received from us not go to what? To misuse, so that it can help to serve more people and we prevent blindness in the world. I wish you the best.
Lyon, please, before you hand over the microphone to
Before I hand over the microphone, can the people I worked with, the members of project plan, the management, stand up for recognition. Those who are here.
There are times people forget who they are.
Dr. Conrad, Dr. Simon, Dr. Teddy, the governor, you have been one of us behind the scenes. So these are ones who are here. And there are people I worked with who are our foot soldiers. And I want to award them with a certificate of recognition for the service they delivered to this. And I will ask the district governor to hand them over to them, the few gifts. District governor, my boss, please come here and help me. If you are here, you come quickly so that I don't waste time. Prayers will kill me. Dr. Simon Aronga, Project Technical Advisor. Dr. Teddy Kwaga, she's here, the coordinator, project coordinator. Dr. Ryan Simon Aronga, Dr. Ryan Teddy Kwaga. That is another achievement for this project. Thanks.
We have 2 more Lions.
Mr. Rat Gabriel, the founder's camera technician. Not around, he's
Rat.
doing some course. Rat. Mr. Bernard Binomujisha, founder's camera technician. He has also been serving as a project driver. This is also here. You take this also. Who is the next? Mr. Aaron Masco. Is he around? Aaron Masco. He has he'll come later. Miss Nagumia Olivia. She's still doing the work. She's a project nurse. Next is Mr. Ngabirano Humphrey, the camera technician, the founder's camera technician. Mr. Mugabe Jonan, the founder's camera technician. These are not it, right? Mr. Taremwa Joshua, the founder's camera technician. These were our foot soldiers. Where is who? Mr. Chikabaho Honest. Is he around? Okay. Mr. Dumba Gerard, the founder's camera technician also. Thanks so much, gentlemen. Thanks, Governor.
Governor, please.
I have been. The governor was saying, how can they put on our uniform when they are not there? You better do the needful, so that you are fully recognized.
Lion Bernard Kakwichire, I don't want to release you yet. You're holding a microphone that is in big hands for the Lions. I would want you to hand over the microphone to the next speaker, who is so big for me to invite. It's only you who can invite that Lion. Lion Cedres Rwechichiga, who is the district governor, to talk to us. I did it deliberately. I'm too small to invite her.
Ryan Cedres Rwechichiga, MGF, my boss. I have been asked to invite you here to speak to these grant members and collaborators with us. The success is theirs. The funding was ours, but the success is theirs.
First of all, allow me to talk without a mask, because after a long time the carbon dioxide will go back into me and I might get problems. Since all of you are protected, please allow me to talk without a mask. And I'm going to be far away from them. Thank you very much. The Lions of Mbarara have invited me to this closure of this project. I remember very well I am the one who launched this project in Lyon, but I'm also happy that this project has come to the end. I restrict myself to talk to members who are not Lions to know why we are Lions here. First of all, the word Lions. Lions is liberty, intelligence, our nation's safety. That's why we are called Lions. And Lions serve. That's what we do. And while the coronavirus pandemic has changed the way we live and work, it has not changed who we are. Every day, Lions and Leos around the world are finding ways to continue their fellowship with one another and serve safely in their communities. So for that, I want to thank the Lions of Uganda for continuing doing basically that. Lions have stayed active and served as Lions during this unique time, which is really amazing. We were there during the pandemic. We were giving out the sanitizers. We've been feeding the hungry. We've been visiting the sick and help the ones who are faced with disasters. Recently, we have helped the Lions in Kasese to serve their community when they were faced with the floods. The International Diabetes Federation reports that in 1 to 2 people with diabetes, they are undiagnosed. And Lions recognize the need of the world that is changing and have championed the cause of diabetes to better serve both our communities and the world. And according to the World Health Organization, about 422 million people worldwide have diabetes. The majority living in low and middle income countries, which includes Uganda. And this diabetes contributes around 1.6 million deaths. And it is directly attributed to diabetes each year. Both the number of cases and the prevalence of diabetes have been steadily increasing over the past few decades. And serving in diverse communities all over the world, we see and feel the effects of diabetes and are doing something about it together. That's why our diabetes is one of our core activities around the world. And our strategy is to serve to reduce the prevalence of diabetes and improve on quality of life for those diagnosed with diabetes. Type 2 diabetes screening is important, a way to help individuals and understand their risk while also making our communities healthier. In the short term, screenings help community members learn about diabetes and understand their current health status. If necessary, they can also be referred for care, and they have been doing that in this project. All this leads to an overall improved quality of life. When caring people roll up their sleeves and take action to their community, like we have done in Lions of Uganda and the Lions of Mbarara, it's a beautiful thing. Wherever you find lions, we are associated with kindness. Being a lion is about leading by example building relationship and improving the world through kindness. Our over 1.4 million caring men and women together, we make a lasting impact and change of life. In Uganda alone, we are now over 1,600 members as I talk of now. We are no longer 1,500. We have hit a mark of 1,500. But at the heart of Lions Clubs, there is one constant, that is service. We give our time and energy to others in a fantastic way to help our community. Yet we provide a great feeling for them that can spread in an impactive and impact our life and how we approach the world. I would like to thank the Lions Clubs International Foundation, our funding arm, and Latter Day Saint Charities, our partners, the Mbarara University of Science and Technology, and all the Lions who gave support to the Lions of District 411B Uganda. And on a special note, I would like to thank the committee for this particular project. You were made to stand up, but I had also, in my speech, I wanted you to stand up and you be recognized. And I want to ask all the people who are around to join me and thank these great people who brought. Some projects come and die out. They give them money and it is eaten. But for this project, you can see for yourselves. We have left, even if it is closing, but it has left a mark, at least in our Ugandan society. On a special note, I would like to thank the Ministry of Health, who continually collaborate with all the Lions. Every time we are having any other project, we always come to them and they always welcome us with open hands. I want to thank you, all of you, for attending this closure. But like my predecessors said, it is not closure, it is the beginning of what we had started. So let this diabetes screenings and training continue, and we continue to reach out to serve in kindness while united in our diversity. We serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lyon. Cedres, kindly take your seat. These are COVID times. I know people are scared of clapping hands because you think the hands should stay sterile. I want to remind you that if you're clapping your own hands, that is not your risk. Please, you can clap your own hands.
Sorry, just 1 minute. You can borrow 1 minute or 3 seconds. I would like to recognize the following by giving them my friendship banner. The first on the list is Lion Dr. Conrad Muzora, MJF. For those who are hearing the word MJF for the first time, it's Melvin Jones Fellow, our founder. It means he has paid $1,000, and that is the part of the money that comes back to give you the funding. Thank you. I would also like to recognize the hospital director, if he is around. Not yet here? Or the representative, eh?
Clap those hands, please. It's African nature to clap. Clap.
I would also like to recognize Dr. Lyon Simon Aronga. This one has even been recognized by Lions Clubs International and he's now our technical advisor for the English-speaking countries in Africa. So, you are welcome. I'd like to recognize Dr. Lyon Onyango. Lyon John Onyango. Thank you, Lyon, Dr. Onyango. Yeah. I'd like also to recognize Dr. Professor Amos, Dr. Lyon Professor Amos Tuinamasko. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize Lyon Dr. Kwaga. Teddy Kwaga. Our lady.
She's hardworking. She must be working right now.
Can you receive on her behalf? I'd also like to recognize our own Lyon, although he's from the Ministry of Health, Lyon Dr. Stanley Bubichire. He's been supportive. He's been, I think, for all of you, if you don't know, as a Lyon, he's the one who led the research for all the results we are getting for comprehensive eye care in Uganda on behalf of the Lions. I still remember that, Dr. Bubichire. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this segment that we've just concluded. We are on point when it comes to time management. I have a feeling that we shall hold it on time. I want to make a small announcement. Technology is challenging. I've been advised that these microphones, if you spray alcohol in them, they may malfunction before we finish the day. That means we should use the mask. We have a box of masks there, the surgical masks. If you have a mask that is making you uncomfortable on a hot day like this, Lions has provided. You can pick one. We've finished. So, District Governor, there is one thing I want to assure you. You cannot eat money for diabetic retinopathy. We like eating money, but the reason why we cannot eat money for diabetic retinopathy, that money is uneatable. Back in time when I was growing up in my village, we knew diabetes was for the rich people. And by definition, anyone who is seated in this tent is rich. My village defined it like that. So they believed that if you became rich, you could get diabetes. And they were right in a way. Dr. Muyingo will come around. He's a man who has passion about diabetes. He will be telling us that sedentary lifestyle, manual drive, automatic drive, border, TV with a remote, everything, sedentary lifestyle predisposes us to get diseases which are non-communicable. High blood pressure, high blood sugar. So if we eat this money, we shall become rich, we shall get fat, we shall get diabetes, then diabetes will go to the eyes to see what we ate. Unfortunately, when it goes in the eyes, it spoils the eyes slowly, until that day when the slowly is very fast. That's the day you remember that Murek exists. You will come here. They have been giving people certificates for the fundus camera. That fundus camera is a special camera. Some of us when you go there, you take some time to take a photo. We have dedicated young men. These young men, you just stand up. I'm not qualified to make you stand up, but you just stand up because you do a fantastic job. These gentlemen with their lady, Olivia, who is there, they traverse the 19 districts you've been hearing of. Wherever they go, sometimes there is no lunch there because they go in rural settings. The DHOs are with us here. They know where the facilities are. For some reason, the ministry likes putting a facility in the village where there are no good roads. I don't know if they don't know that tarmac exists, but they put the facility deep, where the road is impassable. These gentlemen with their driver, Bernard. Why is it that every lion is Bernard? If you want your child to be a lion, name them Bernard. If they are a female, make them Bernadette. By that, they are going to be people of integrity. Bernadette, thank you. They are going to be people of integrity. They are going to be leaders. Above all, they are going to have a big heart. A lion is a good animal, but it eats other animals. So bad. So I want to invite Dr. Muyingo to come and briefly talk about diabetes and the eye. Why would we have Dr. Muyingo here? Dr. Muyingo is a doctor who sees the majority of the patients in Mbarara and beyond who have diabetes. He's a great link for us because he's the one who tells the patient, at least in the next 3 months, go and see the eye doctors and see, and that's the time when we see if diabetes is eating you slowly, or if it is already eating very fast. Dr. Muyingo, thank you. We are honored for you to be with us here. Kindly talk to us. Should I give you 10 minutes or 5? 3 minutes, he says. Thank you very much.
I apologize, I came in late and looking at very powerful people seated at the front here, it's very hard for me to know where the protocol starts and ends. I have been informed all you say is protocol observed. It's a privilege to be here and to learn from the eye team the different aspects of diabetes. At least in my time I have interacted with many eye doctors, I have seen a progressive process of trying to understand the inclusivity of all systems with regards to how they're affected by diabetes. My friend and senior colleague, Dr. Mzora, is here. So when my tongue is slipping, I will just say, you know, he is an epidemiologist, those people who study numbers. And I don't know when the last time he looked at numbers of patients with diabetes. His interest may not necessarily be in this field, but I always consult when need be. Now, diabetes has been here for a few years. The statistic I remember very vividly, and all of you who have been to the university at Makerere, passing through or as students, you will see that big library called the Albert Cook Library. And so Albert Cook was a physician who in 1901 published a paper that at that time there were approximately, I don't have the figure clearly of head, but there are approximately 50 to 80,000 residents of Kampala city in 1900. And in his survey, there was not one patient who had diabetes. Fast forward 100 years, we have a clinic in one small region of this country that has more than 2,500 patients being seen through the year. And this clinic should have been bigger, except for two processes. Diabetes is not a sugar problem. Diabetes is a problem that makes your sugar go up and then causes organs to fail. And because of that, depending on which organs will fail, we most likely will lose the patient. Now, the three big organs we know are the eyes, the heart, and the kidneys, and these speak to each other. Now, diabetes eye disease is what we are here for, but the processes underlying it are very similar to the processes underlying kidney disease. And many of you have interfaced with either a patient or have heard of a patient or have read in the news the processes needed to keep a patient with kidney disease alive. You've heard of how costly dialysis is. You've heard of people flying to India and other parts of the world for purposes of getting perhaps kidney transplants or kidney care. So what I would wish the eye team to take home today is that once you see a lesion in the eye that is attributable very specifically to diabetes, that patient is in trouble, not because just blindness will hit them in a few years, but because they're perhaps on their way to India or perhaps not going to afford it, and they will not live to see their great-grandchildren. So diabetes as a disease results in, for me, what I call very significant economic challenges. You can imagine that right now it's a diabetes clinic day and we have a full house. So all these people, because there are too many and we are not very many doctors looking after them, are going to sit at the clinic for the whole day. Now, if you are making, just as an example, 200,000 shillings a day, the epidemiologists will tell you that there is something called loss of value every time you come to visit the eye doctor. Perhaps in the eye clinic you are making patients have an appointment process, and I don't know how that is working. We would need to learn from you. But we have such a big burden compared to the number of healthcare workers, so it is extremely impossible for a patient to walk into the clinic and be home in an hour. We've visited clinics where, because the appointment systems are working perfectly well, you walk in at 10, you're seen at 10:05, and by 11 o'clock you're out. This is not necessarily possible, and if you look at it from an economic perspective, you start to notice that if you have to come to the clinic every 2 weeks, that is how much value you lose in terms of time because you won't be at work. And two, and most importantly, we have a spectrum of conditions for which we have to evaluate and give them treatment for. And all these are very expensive treatments. I have sent patients to this clinic and they have informed me that they pay 150,000 for one injection of a certain eye drug. And they require, I believe, 6 or 3 or something like that. Now, if you look at the mathematics there, you start to realize that some of these processes are very costly, and if you are to stem the tide, early evaluation or early screening is quite important. We've done some studies to look at screening, or that have screened for diabetes in the health systems among patients walking in with other symptoms, and we have found very significant numbers. We're in the process of cleaning the data, so we shall have the publication out soon, but it is quite interesting that we most likely are looking at 1 in 10 comes to the hospital for other reasons, and they have underlying diabetes or a concept that we need to introduce to the eye team called pre-diabetes. There is a phase in which you can have high sugar. You don't require treatment yet from a diabetes perspective, but it is so high that it is already beginning to cause what we call damage to your blood vessels, including those of the eye. And studies have been published in different parts of the world that have shown, you could call them small rates, but if you have pre-diabetes and let's say around 12 or 13% already have eye disease. You can imagine by the time they come to the clinics to start diabetes treatment, the processes have already proceeded. So what we would wish to do is to think through a much more comprehensive process. As you go out to screen for the eyes, and people have talked about lots of lifestyle related, and I'll touch on that just very slightly. As you go out to screen for the eyes, what are other organs, because the eye is not necessarily the most valuable organ if your other parts of the body are also dysfunctional, although you need it to see, correct? In so saying, the eye exists in the entire body, so when you're screening for the eyes, do we have processes to screen for high blood pressure, for instance? Do we have processes to screen patients' feet to look for some evidence of callosities that may tell you that already the patient has problems of blood flow within the feet, so that we have a much more comprehensive understanding of patients. It's quite interesting that there was a publication, and I don't know whether it's a publication, when they post something on Facebook, what is it called? A publication or a post? Okay.
Call it social media.
Social media post. There was a social media post to the effect that Uganda has one of the highest physical activity rates. I don't know whether any of you read it. And indeed it is true that yes, we use a lot of means to come in, maybe cars or border, but we are very, very, very physically active people. And when you come to the clinic, you'll be surprised. We had visitors from Karolinska, and they looked at the patients and they said, no, this is not the diabetes clinic. Our patients are lean. Our patients are farmers, meaning they go to the farm and do manual work. So there are other processes that are driving diabetes in this region which we need to understand. And they require more investment in terms of resources, and they require scientific understanding and exploration if we are going necessarily to be able to make headway with regards to prevention beyond lifestyle modification and throwing away chapati plus, oh, did I say chapati? Okay. Throwing away soda and things that are called sweetened beverages or refined sugars. What was it? Wheat, yes. Meat, yes. And then there are very many other things that we who look after diabetes patients know, but we find it extremely difficult to necessarily translate to the bedside because the technologies have gone beyond our economic abilities in the current sense of events. I know that most of you know two kinds of medicines, one of them being injections and others being tablets. But there is a myriad, there is a huge variety within those two formulations that are coming onto the market that we wish our patients actually get. But if you look at the last 1 year, we as a clinic were out of supply of insulin supplied by the government of Uganda for more than 4 months. So it tells you that there's a lot of things you are doing in the communities. You're screening for the eyes, they're coming to your eye clinic, and you're sending them back down. And we are not doing an excellent job controlling their sugars because we don't have the necessary resources. So as the team of lions, as a pack of lions, they missed the joke. When you're looking at screening, it is the initial step. When you throw the patients into a health system, then they find challenges. We have very many patients who, because of changes in antiretroviral therapy, actually developed high blood sugar. The antiretroviral therapy clinics provide free antiretrovirals. The patients were crossed into the diabetes clinic to get diabetes care, and we told them they have to buy their treatments. And they looked at us and asked, we go there and get free treatment. Why do you people make us buy treatment? So there is a complete disparity of health system approaches, and this fragmentation of care has resulted in lots of problems. We hope that through your initiatives as Lions and the minds that are here, some of which are organizational, some of which are in healthcare, others are in administration, we could together sit and design a comprehensive package that allows a patient to have one entry point and one exit point with clear routes that are being charted from one clinic to the next. Because we have a diabetes clinic on Thursday, we have a kidney clinic on Monday. Thankfully, your clinic is running every day. We have a pressure clinic on Tuesday. We have the surgeons coming on Wednesdays, where we send the patients with diabetes fit. So you can imagine, we said that if you're losing 200,000 shillings a day, but we tell you come on Monday for the renal clinic, you lose that day. Come on Tuesday for the high pressure clinic, you lose that day. Come on Wednesday for the surgeons to see your feet, you lose that day. And then come on Thursday for diabetes, you lose that day. The only 2 days you have to work are Friday and half of Saturday. And if you are like my friend Mr. Katate, above 60, we shall tell you come to the prostate clinic on Friday. So how are you going to survive? So that is the complexity with which the health system is functioning, and it is not unique to Mbarara. And we feel that there are avenues and opportunities and processes that we have not thought carefully through to be able to provide much more comprehensive, much more comfortable diabetes care that will then thrust us to the next level, which is looking at new technologies and harnessing opportunities to have them come cheaper and have them accessible to the patients, because these technologies we have seen preserve patients' insulin production, they control the sugar better, and they preserve end organ function. With those few words, I thank you very much, and I thank the members of the Lions Committee, the governor, and all those who make things happen in as far as eye care and diabetes care is concerned. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Dr. Anthony Muingo, for those words. For some reason, a selfish reason, I didn't want you to stop. Because what you are telling us is the reality. While I sit here and I see patients who have diabetes and I'm looking at the eye, this patient needs more and more and more. And I didn't know that the only day they have to work is Sunday. Because Saturday they must go and attend parties, they must give away their daughters, and must receive their daughter-in-laws. So Sunday is the only working day for a diabetic patient. Now you can see, even Sunday has been taken. So which means you should work early, then when diabetes comes in, you just relax. I want all of us, when you're seated there, I don't want to assume. I want you to keep on looking at this gate of ours. Whichever person is going to walk in is our typical patient. When I was a medical officer, I was seeing everyone, ministers, governors. If I had stayed there for long, I would have seen the president. When I came here, I looked for VX, Discovery, Range Rover. I didn't see them in this compound. If I could see, I would see a UAG Primo old with a tire that is worn out, and then some borders. And then the majority are people who are struggling to walk out of here. On a day like this is when I like making mistakes. For the university, I would request you look for the engineer to sort out this thing. And should be sorted for once and for all, because my patients sometimes stumble on that thing. This thing is a place where people don't see. Dr. Muingo said the eye is not the most important thing. I agreed with him. His heart and kidneys are the most important thing, but he forgot one thing which I want him to notice in his diary, that when you're not seeing and the heart is working, there is someone else who should see for you. If that is hard, I will tell him, I wish the whole world was blind, and I see how many hearts would survive. You can quote me that one and say, in 2021, it was said by Anonymous. Let the whole world be blind, the hearts will survive. I want to tell everyone here, I want it to sink deep in your heart that every time someone gets an eye problem, it's the girl child who suffers. Unless if you never delivered girls, they will still import a girl from another family to take care of you. Then if you lose two eyes, many girls are going to suffer. And all of you, when you are celebrating on functions, giving away daughters, is if you want to educate the nation, educate the girl. If you want to make men happy, produce girls. So if this girl child is going to stop education to suffer, let's think about it. When I joined this institution, I realized that the eye is the most important thing for the body. Without the eyes, the heart, the kidneys, they are nothing. DJ, the next presenter is a dedicated Lyon. He has moved this institution to greater heights. I told you we have ultra-modern equipment here. You don't need to go to Germany. You don't need to go to India. And whenever he's looking at donors, he looks at donors who give us the best equipment. For those of you who love phones, you'd want to trade your kidney for an iPhone. So whenever he brings something, he brings an equivalent of an iPhone. Diabetes. We are closing the project, but we are starting the project. The project is diabetic retinopathy. Dr. John Onyango, in your capacity as head of department, Mbara University Science and Technology, Ophthalmology Department, kindly come and give us your remarks. DJ, wake up. Diabetes has got him.
Our chief guest, National Eye Health Coordinator, the District Governor, Lyons, representative of the Director, Regional Referral Hospital Mbara, my colleagues, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I will not take a lot of your time. I'm just only going to give you probably something on eye problems generally, since diabetes has already been well explained by my colleague Dr. Muingo. Globally, there are about 300 million people who are blind or visually impaired. And most of these blind people or visually impaired people live in this part of the world which has got low socioeconomic status. And when we look at what causes blindness, the majority of people who are blind or visually impaired have conditions like cataract, glaucoma, and of late, which has emerged, diabetic retinopathy. Previously, we used to have trachoma, and of course, refractive errors and many others. Most of these conditions can either be cured, like cataract. We do a lot of cataract surgery. People come here walking blind, they go back home when they're seeing. And many others, like diabetic retinopathy, can be prevented through early screening and early intervention. when we ask ourselves why, since we started all these activities a long time ago, why up to now we still have 300 million people who are still blind or visually impaired? Some of the reasons are actually the services to be provided. The services are not there and associated with cost. As Dr. Winter has just said, you are talking about insulin. When I go to the director of the hospital here, the budget allocated for eye care is actually less than 0.5%. We are the least supported by the parent Ministry of Health. And so almost everything we provide, we have nothing if we don't have innovations to do something. And that's why we rely on our friends, the donors, and partners to support us, to provide this service. Otherwise, without that, there will be no patient here. The other one, of course, are the equipment and infrastructure. It is very surprising when you go all over Uganda to find a government hospital of this nature. You don't find it. They are small, small houses. Some of them are just 2 rooms, and that's called the eye department. We don't have them. So there is no infrastructure for eye care. The equipment you have just been seeing here, again, those are just on our personal efforts. Most of those people don't have any equipment for diagnosis of eye diseases. And that's why you see they have torches, and the torches are kept there without cells. That was an example somebody was giving us here. Of course, the third one is the human resource. There is severe inadequacy of manpower for eye care. When you go to a hospital, you find there's only 1 OCO or there's none. That's why the Lions Club had to even train human resources for some of the districts. They don't have even an OCO. So the whole district has got no eye care worker. So those are some of the key reasons why there are still so many blind people in the world, and we need to address them. I don't want to go into further detail, but I just said because of this project, as a department, I feel there was a lot of improvement and there was a lot of impact from this project. I just asked my sister in charge to give me some statistics. By 2019, the outpatient attendance, as one of the indicators, was about 878 patients, new cases, per month. That was the month of February. This year, we have 1,706 patients seen in the month of February, which is more than double. So you can see the impact of this project on the patient attendance in this clinic. So that was a very big impact for us. The project provided for us a number of equipment. I remember one time Lyon Benon referred his colleague who had come from Kabale, Kisoro. And he came here at night. And that night, there was no power. And the whole of this place was dark. We had to just convince the man, at least spend the night there and stay in the darkness. Today, as I talk, through the project, we have acquired a very big generator, which is standby waiting there. We have installed a solar system. When you see some of this light, the bulb outside there, which can now provide lighting at night for our patients. Even when there's no power, we can even run some of our microscopes using the solar system. And that has been really a great impact for us in terms of power supply. But there are a number of equipments which we have acquired. The fundus camera we have talked about, which has improved on our diagnosis. We can now treat retinal diseases using lasers. We have a laser machine for treatment of retinal diseases. And we are yet to start the retinal surgery because of just a small piece of equipment which is still lacking. So our equipment improved a lot. And that has really improved our service delivery. We have now trained a retinal surgeon. That's Dr. Rovuma. And so we should now provide a comprehensive retinal service in this hospital. We don't need our patients to go all the way to Mengo, to Kampala, or to India for eye problems. We should be providing them all here. So the project really has impacted a lot in terms of our services which we can offer here. You can see our transport is there. And as we are heading to the next phase of our project in Chigezi, outreach services should now be easy for us because we have a transport which can make us improve our mobility. So that has been a great development for us. The project has screened so many patients, and we are expecting very many of them to be coming. And we are looking at the sustainability mechanism, how we can continue from today onwards after this project, which we think they are affordable. And we have looked at them. I wouldn't like to take a lot of your time. Mine was just to look at our perspective in this department. I would like to appreciate the Lions Club International Foundation and the Lions Club of Mbarara for supporting us in this venture, and I pray that we continue in this way. I will thank the Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital for working with us to help us. I would like to thank our parent institution, Mbarara University of Science and Technology Administration, who really supported us right from the beginning. Actually, they allowed Dr. Rovuma to go for study leave, and they allowed us so many things so that we could make this department run. And of course, I thank our partners, the districts, for working with us to end up to mobilize the patients, to screen them, and send them to us. Thank you very much.
Dr. OJ, before you put down the mask, I want to tell you the secrets that happen in this department. I'm down on the ground. If someone buys a new car, we say DR project until we see the receipt. A student buys a shoe, we know it's money from DR project. DR, thank you so much for the wonderful things you've given us. Equipment, lights, training, everything that happens here, even where you're seated, until we see the receipt, we shall assume it is DR project. It has closed, but it has started. The next presenter to come to talk to us, I'm again too small to invite them. It's the office of the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Nyango, in your capacity. Kindly invite them to come to talk to us so that we don't close this project. I'm against closing this project because I need it to start afresh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pliers. I now take this opportunity to invite the Vice Chancellor, or the Office of the Vice Chancellor, to give us a remark. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. OJ. And it's unfortunate that the goalkeeper is no longer Onyango, so we pray that the next keeper is called John. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I'm standing in here for the Vice Chancellor, who has a meeting that is taking place, council meeting in charge of estates and works, constructions of the Chumoro campus. He could not make it in person. His deputies are mandated to attend that particular one, and the other is in Kampala. And the deans of Faculty of Medicine had an emergency meeting to attend. He says, Africa's challenges are quite many, but many, allow me to mention that most of them rotate around medical, technology, and accountability. And today, the Lions, Mbarara Regional Referral, and MAST have shown that you are good accountability givers by closing and starting this project. He thanks you very much. You have gone ahead to prove that alone you can do little, together you can do a lot. The partnership has benefited us as a university, and we're grateful. You have increased our visibility in the communities that you serve. Notwithstanding, you have increased our enrollment at undergraduate and postgraduate levels. We thank you once again. Special thanks go to the Lions community. You are always in our newsletter and making headlines. This time when you appear, they'll think we are biased, but it's what you do and we cannot hide it. We thank you through your chairperson, Dr. Bernard Kakwichire, who I have known for a long time, for being a man of high integrity. High integrity. No wonder the project has been successful, and yet it's starting again. Thank you, Bernard, for raising the Lions flag, but raising the mast flag higher than the Lions Club. To my staff, I can never ask for more. Dr. Onyango and your team, you have always set standards. This has been shown by the university website and the newsletters. I thank you for always standing out and setting standards. When others stand, you stand up. When they stand up, you stand out. When they stand out, you set standards. I thank you.
Thank you very much, the Office of the VC, for that standing out and stand and stand. So today, we celebrate because the Lions stood out, or the Lions stand out. She said something about closing and opening. Why are we then closing? If we are closing and then opening, why didn't we just remain open? So this is an era where everyone should hold a mask, and then you should sanitize. The basins and water and soap have died out, while alcohol has increased the usage. But I know also the usage of nothing is the one that is leading. This is a university. It was started with the aim of being a leading science and technology university. We have been having ComTech around, which transforms ideas to innovations. They want to co-create. Before even COVID came, they were making sanitizers. They were supplying this department. We use alcohol from ComTech when we can afford. The government supplies us. But I want to tell you, they have a product that we've used. We believe in it. The scent is good. When you use it in the hands remain gentle. Who knows what they put in? They have a store today there. They have said since they are partnering with us on this special day, they want to behave like Lions. They are selling their products at a subsidized product for today. They say, please don't stock a lot for what? For going and selling at a price. They say, if you stock a lot, go and sell at the usual price. But for you who are here, you can buy at a subsidized price. They are over there. Before you go, take some alcohol with you if you are a user. If you know you cannot afford, stick to soap and water. Please don't stick to nothing. Don't stick to nothing. They have been talking about diabetic retinopathy. This unit, we don't charge money. We don't have user fees. They have said that there are people who have been giving us equipment. That's equipment, we use it for free, but when it breaks down, we are having a challenge for repairing the equipment. The technician who come, the best they can do is switching on and off. That's all they can do. That means if an equipment breaks down, we must ship someone from the manufacturer to come and sort us out. That would be maybe German, USA, and the rest. So for that case, there is sometimes when we request a patient to pay some small amount of money, small for the department, but very, very big for the patient. Every time I tell a patient, hopefully you've already seen people who are walking in, every time I tell them to pay 150 for an investigation, I imagine how much do I have in my pocket. And then when they tell me I don't have money, I start crying with them. That is just for once. Dr. Muyingo talked of an injection that is 150. It is not 150. That injection is 2 million. And that's the cheapest. If you remember the war of HIV and drugs, when they allowed India to start making generics, that's when people accessed ARVs. Similarly, we are using Avastin because it is what can be afforded by some people. But if we wanted it to be serious and we write the right drug, probably you find Aflibercept is about 9 million, Lucentis is about the same amount of money. So sit there and ask yourself, small as I am, if I wrote for you the injection, 9 million every month, will you afford it? So 150 for the injection, 150 for the investigations, money for lunch. Imagine what these people go through. And I still want you, before you leave, keep on watching. There are those who will come in and who will go out. We don't have any Range Rover packed here, including yours. So it means diabetes is a disease both for the pocket, for the doctor, for the nation. We are supposed to finish at 11:30. It's 1 minute to 11:30. You've been asking me for more time. I should also ask you for more time. If you know you're coming from Kanungu, just put the hand up. Kanungu, just. If you have ever been to Kanungu, just put the hand up. If you have been to Kanungu. If you have never been to Kanungu, before you get diabetes, because you are not going to get it, just know there is a place Kanungu. Kanungu stands out because of how do you go there? How do you go there? It is easier to go to Kampala, it's easier to go to Jinja, it's easier to go to Guru than going to some parts of Mbarara. And patients who come here, they come from these simple districts, Kanungu, Kavare, Shema. For some reason, I don't know why people of Shema complain of money. But for where they don't even come, 1 or 2 come. The DHO of Uheju, if you're here, we thank you. We thank you. Shema, Isinjiro, Mbarara. Please leave those clinical officers whom we have given refresher treatment and knowledge, refresher courses to be active. They can save us some of these burdens we are seeing. The Kanungu people, sometimes when we go in our books, we don't see many of them. Not because they are better, because it is hard to live Kanungu with even your own car. It is hard. If you work in this department as a patient, and you find when we are on duty, very seriously working like on a Monday and a Friday when we want to leave, that's when we work hardest in all our capacities. The minimum amount of time you can spend here, if we give you a favor like someone we know, might be 2 hours. If you are going to travel from Kanungu, you spend probably an hour here and you have to travel back. You need about 2 days, like Mwingo says, when you're just making a journey for an eye checkup. Make those nurses, don't transfer them where they are incapable. We are asking for a small favor, DHO. When you're going to transfer this nurse, this clinical officer who has had this training, think twice. Put them where they are functional. DHO Kamwenge, if you are around, I want to thank you. I know the facility Rukunyu, we have Emma there, functional. All these are districts. Those people support them with torches. A torch. When I was in Rukunyu, the same problem of dry cells, it occurred. Cells, and torches. A torch can do so much. Eyes we deal with light. All we need is light. Without light, we are as good as blind. So we need the torches and equipment. Some of you, the nurse in charge, they like keeping things in the store for accountability and inventory. DHO, go there, look at these units, including health center tools. Some health center tools have good equipment packed nicely. Direct ophthalmoscopes. So DHO, in your tour we are sending you as ambassador, try to find out if there is something, pull it from the health center to put it where the clinical officer is or where the nurse is. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to come to the end of the day and opening the DR project very well. We are closing the funding, but we are opening the project. I want to invite the office of the hospital director. People, we have Olivia who is there in the hospital every day to screen. So this hospital we are part of the hospital. We want you to come and talk to your people about how we are planning to handle this new project of no funding, but we are opening it to offer services. The office of the hospital director. Dr. Onyango has taught me to be a person who can solve problems. When you see a problem, don't walk away. Don't even tell anyone. Just ask yourself, what can I do to solve the problem? Anyone who is here, who is in capacity for leading a hospital, be it a health center too, you will come. Dr. Ida, even if I pronounce the names poorly, but it sounds like that. Just come.
Thank you so much. Our chief guest, the eye coordinator from the Ministry of Health, the Vice Chancellor, the hospital director, our dear Lions. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm by the names of Dr. Ida Nanchinga. I'm a senior medical officer at Rugazi Health Center for Rubirizi District. I would like to thank the Lions Club again. First of all, I'm also a Lion. I'm from the Lions Club of Ushenyi. So thank you so much for this project. As we have all been told, the eye is one of the most important organs of the body. And I think it's as important as the heart and the kidney and the liver and everything. So anyone without seeing, I think is really incapacitated and cannot stay alone. I think you've seen from the patient who was being taken somewhere there, you could see she would not go alone. So on that note, I would like really to thank the Lions Club for this initiative. Many districts have benefited. At least Rubirizi, they trained or they built capacity of our ophthalmic clinical officer. Thank you so much. And what I know, Mbara University Teaching Hospital, or Mbara Regional Referral Hospital has even gained more. Thank you so much. And I don't think I have more to say, but I would like to thank you for opening and closing, or closing and opening the project. We wish and pray that we take forward this project and our patients will have to benefit more. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ida. Second name?
Nanchinga.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ida Nanchinga. The doctors who are high-headed, they don't like it when you simply say Dr. Ida. They want the second name to, it's called first name. The surname in Africa, they want it to be added there. There is this confusion of opening, closing, closing, opening. I want it to remain open. Dr. Simon, if you're around, we would like you to teach us about opening and closing, closing and opening. In 1552, before Christ was born, if you remember, we used it to count backwards. I don't know where they started, but they knew when they count 99, 98 up to 1, then they would start AD. In 1552 BC, that's the first time when an Egyptian physician first talked about diabetes. Long. We can't even imagine that. So diabetes has existed for as man as has existed, And whenever you have diabetes, probably in the next 10 years, you'll start getting failing eyes. Insulin, which is the main treatment for diabetes that we know of today, was discovered just recently. When we have signed the Uganda agreement, Uganda was about to get independence. So you can imagine how people have suffered before Christ, through AD, and even recent times. Dr. Simon, closing, opening, confusion. Open the thing.
Thank you, Bliers. And I think I'll hide under all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are talking about Christ. Before, I'm sure a number of you celebrated Easter. And before Christ left, the disciples were all very sad. And he said, don't worry, I am leaving, but I will not leave you alone. So I think this is what this project has done for us. Now, when we started this screening in the different areas, we were surprised by two things.